Hey, all you amazing, beautiful knockouts. Amanda here. I am going to invite some of you and share this as well. So I hope all of you can come on. How are you doing this fun Sunday morning? It is just after 9 here, or right at 9. And I hope you, in Arizona anyways, today I'm inside because I have a little bit of quietness happening. So let's just invite a few more people. Are you all doing fabulous? If you pop on, let me know you're here. I am just, give me a minute. Okay, we'll start in just a minute. I said that, didn't I? Okay, I'm trying to tag all of you who were watching yesterday. If I miss somebody, I'm really sorry. I am trying my best to do this as quickly as possible, and I forgot that I need to load my stuff on the phone. So let's see. Hey, Dottie. Dottie's here again today to say hi to all of you. Okay. All right, I'm getting this. All right, one more time, one more share. I got to put this in the beautiful knockout sacred space. So if you are not part of it and you are a woman, I have a community group for women who are looking to get some support in working through these practices and just their everyday life, living their beautiful knockout life. So if you haven't joined, please feel free. It's beautiful knockout sacred space. Would love to have you in there. Okay, let me just make sure there was one other. Oh, there was somebody else, but I totally forgot who it is. So let me just pop on. All right. Hi, I am Amanda J.P. Brown, an author, exploration guide, and sacred space creator. Hey, Matt. Glad you could pop on. I help women who are ready to do some deep transformational work, walk through their darkness, and release their shame and own their power. Because the truth is, we all have an incredible amount of power inside ourselves. And once we tap into that by walking through the darkness, walking through the stuff that we do not necessarily want to look at, we become more powerful in life. So, and in ourselves, and we become more confident and comfortable in who we are. So that is why I'm here. Today is day 5. We are doing our practice of realness. So what does that mean? I'll explain it in a minute. We went through 4 practices already. We've talked about honesty, honoring, empathy, and exploration. And so those videos can be found on this page, or you can also find them on my Facebook page, Amanda JP Brown beautifulknockout.com. So I'm glad you're all here. And what I'm going to be talking about today is realness. And what I wrote in the topic of what we're doing is wearing the mask wears us out. And I actually start a quote in the book by Rick Warren, and it says, "Wearing a mask wears you out. faking it is fatiguing. The most exhausting activity is pretending to be who you aren't. And I can attest to that. There are so many times in my life that I have hidden who I was, tried to be someone else, and it was exhausting. And I felt fake. I didn't feel real. I had this story in my head that if I showed up as I was, if I spoke my truth, I would be rejected. Because an incident happened to me when I was younger where I spoke up, I spoke my mind, and someone was like lashed out at me. Now, I didn't have the understanding that I do today that when people lash out at us, it's not about us, it's about them. It is about their shit, their stuff, their triggers, their demons, whatever you want to call them. So know that if this is something that happens to you and you speak up and then people lash, that is, you've triggered something inside of themselves. So it's hard though, as a kid, we don't necessarily understand that that is not our stuff. So we take it and absorb it, and that becomes a story that we tell ourselves. Hey, Nate. So I had this story that if I spoke my truth, if I spoke up, if I said what I needed, if I said what I wanted, I would be rejected. So instead, I shut down and I became a chameleon. I morphed in to the different things that people wanted me to be, or that the story of what I thought people wanted me to be. This created all kinds of havoc, all kinds of stuff, because I wasn't being real. I wasn't being honest. I wasn't showing up as who I am. And so there was a lot of miscommunications that happened. One thing that I know, and when I was launching my book, which is all we're talking about this, You're Brave Enough, 8 Daily Practices to Be Your Own Hero, is that running away, starting over, won't fix anything, because no matter how hard we try, we can't run away from ourselves. At the end of every single day, if you've faked it awesome, you go home and you're still, or I'm still, Amanda, and you're still who you are. At the end of the day, when you take it all off and you drop it all down, you're still you. And so that sometimes creates this disconnection, and it feeds into the practice of dishonesty, and it feeds into the practice of honoring, and the pieces of when we aren't real in ourselves, we are being dishonest and we are not honoring who we are. And that sucks, because then other people don't know who we are, so then we end up doing things that we don't necessarily want to do. So what does being real even mean? Well, the practice of being real is all about speaking our truth and being unapologetically who we are. It doesn't mean we're an asshole. I mean, I guess you can be an asshole if you want, but then you're just being an asshole. It means that we show up. It means that when we have other things on our mind, when we have things we want to say, that we say them. Now we can be, I usually try to be really conscientious because I'm nervous about how people will take it. So sometimes I don't just blurt out my mind. I think through it and I process and I try to do it in the best way I can. I'm not always perfect at that, I'll be honest. Sometimes it's a little crazy. Sometimes I am an asshole. But those are usually in the moments that I'm not able to think, because I'm in a different part, in a different space in my brain. But I can sometimes speak my truth and go, let me just share with you how I'm feeling, what's going on. I'm feeling anxious because of this, or I'm struggling because of this. And so it's important for you to know that being real is all about showing up, being vulnerable, and that is scary as fuck. Hey, Erica. It is. Being vulnerable and being honest and showing up as who you truly are is like one of the scariest things that I've ever done. And I talk about the practice in my book. I talk about some stories in my book where, all of this is, yes, being you. It's so important, but it's so hard because we've been taught so many times through socialization that we have to be like other people. And that's bullshit. We do not need to be like other people. We need to be empowered to be our real, true selves, because honestly, that is where our power lies. So how do you know? What are the signs that you're not being real in your life? Well, one, you keep your mouth shut. You don't speak up when you need to speak up. You don't share your truth. You don't tell people how you feel. You just go with the flow sometimes. Sometimes that's not being real. Like just this morning, example. Oh, wait, hold on. Erica said something. Yes, I found my voice as my true self. Yes. So powerful. And it is when you finally find the freedom to speak your mind and speak your truth, you're like, oh my gosh. Now, it is scary. So just this morning, we're going dirt bike riding as a family. And I was like, I'm feeling a little nervous because we have all this other stuff we're supposed to be doing or we could be doing. So I'm just feeling a little anxious and stressed. I'm not saying I don't want to go, but I'm wanting to be real and honest about how I'm feeling. So if I seem hesitant, if I seem a little like, it's because I'm feeling the push-pull resistance of going out and having that important family fun time and responsibilities as an adult. And so that space of being real is showing up and acknowledging that. It is also, being honest and truthful to what is honest for ourselves. So sometimes we assume things about other people that they want, but it's not true. So we have to be honest and true with ourselves, regardless of what other people think, regardless of how they take that. It is not a responsibility to make people understand us. We don't have to justify who and what we are. And that's a whole nother topic in of itself. So let's see. I'm gonna you can see I flagged my book to make sure I hit the points, because sometimes I get nervous or I go on a little bit of a tangent. And so I just want to make sure that I cover the things that are important for you. And if you have questions, comment below. If you're feeling like you understand and relate to this, please let me know. If you disagree, I'd love to have a discussion. I'm totally open to those things. So, I actually wrote quite a bit in my book about this, and you can order, I'll put the link in, you can order your copy of the book if you haven't gotten it. But I have a great story about having to have a discussion with my husband about something that I was misleading about. And it wasn't an intentional. Sometimes we don't even know we're doing it because we so want to be loved and accepted and just feel good in who we are and validated, but we go about it in really weird ways sometimes, or at least I did. I morphed into and kind of, I'm a really good chameleon. I'm really good at hiding. I'm really good at shape-shifting into what I think other people want. And that's not me showing up. So what do you do? How do you practice this in your life every single day? Well, it's hard. And some days, honestly, are better than others. But the truth is, this is why it's a practice. You just keep showing up. You just keep trying. So one of the simplest ways to do this is when somebody says, "How are you doing?" You don't say, "I'm fine, good," as like the automatic response. You acknowledge. I mean, it doesn't mean you have to share your story. You don't have to like go into all the details about, well, this happened and then this happened. It just means that you honor and acknowledge the fact that you might not be feeling fabulous today, or maybe you are, but you're worried that if you say, "I'm feeling fabulous," that somebody will be like, because we're scared of judgment. But when the simplest way is when somebody says, "How are you doing?" Be honest. Be real. Show up and answer the question in a way that is honoring of yourself. So, how am I feeling today? Well, I'm actually feeling really good, but I'm also, hey Emma, I'm also feeling a little anxious, partly because I'm doing this video, but partly because I took the example earlier where we have all those adult responsibilities and family fun time, and they're kind of like pushing against each other. Hey, Javon. So by me showing up, if somebody says, how are you feeling today? I'm feeling great. And it doesn't mean I have to go into the story. So just remember that being real means showing up, speaking your truth. And yes, you can only, hey, Sarah, you only have to show up and share as much as you are comfortable with. And over time, you're stepping into that role of being honest and being real and practicing that. You'll get more and more confident, and you'll feel more and more grounded in who you are, and you'll feel more comfortable in being real and authentic in every single relationship, on social media, everywhere in your life, because you're going to be grounded and accepting of who you are. And that is often a lot of times why we are not real with ourselves, because there are pieces of our lives or our self that we are not comfortable with. And that is truly, and hey Javon, glad you joined. That is truly the reason why sometimes we fake it, is because we have an issue with who we are and we are judging ourselves. So just understand that that's why these are all practices, and they web together. You need one in order to have the other. So in order to practice realness, you need to be empathetic towards yourself. You need to hold compassion. You need to understand that you're doing the best that you can every day. And you have to be willing to be honest and honoring of who you are. And that means honoring how you feel. So know that showing up and speaking your truth and sharing is scary, and yet one of the most empowering things I've ever done. And as Erica said before, it's almost like a breath of fresh air. It's liberating to be like, this is who I am, and I don't have to explain anything more. All right. That is all I have to say about being real today. If you want to comment below anything, you have any questions about it, hey Charlene, go ahead. I'm going to just scan through. I don't see any questions, but scan if you have any questions, comments, feedback. You want to get a copy of the book. You want to join the Beautiful Knockout Sacred Space. You want to talk about this more, but you don't want to do it on Facebook. Know that I am here to do power connection calls with you. I will post the link. So you choose. You decide how we engage. You decide what you're ready to do. This is your journey, your life, and you get to make the decisions. And how fucking badass is that, right? So when we find that power and we work through that, hey Sandy, you will feel more confident and comfortable in who you are. And that is what I found. So lastly, today we are on practice 5. So we are going to be tomorrow, and I need to look at the time. I forgot what time I scheduled our call. Hold on, let me look. Tomorrow we are doing practice 6, and which is all about risk. And this, I have to say, realness is risky. So tomorrow we're going to talk about risk. Let me just grab my calendar and see. Super close up, hey. How's it going? All right. It was in grabbing distance, but I had woo. Okay, I know. I can be a real dork. Sometimes I don't show that side of myself very often because I'm a little nervous about doing that, but I'm actually pretty dorky. And sometimes I'm kind of proud of it. Okay. Tomorrow, Monday, is practice 6. We are doing it at 5 p.m. Arizona time, which is 4 p.m. Pacific Coast and 7 p.m. East Coast. So I will be posting, letting you guys know that it's coming up. and inviting as many of you as I can. But again, if you have any questions, you want to talk about any of this further, I'm happy to do that. I'm so grateful you're here, and I hope some of you are able to move into a space where you feel more confident in showing up as you truly are. And if you're already doing this, because some people are really good at it, some people are just rock being real. I would love to hear, how does it feel, or how did you get to that point? Or have you always been that way? I would just love to know that. So tell me about it in the comments. Please share with us. How does it feel? And what do you enjoy about it? And how does it embrace my dorkiness? Yes, I'm working on that. Some days I'm really good. But tell us, how was that? How did you do it? How did you be real? Is it something you've already always done? I'd love to hear your stories, your not just struggles, but your celebrations, things that you kick ass at. Please tell me about it. I'd love to celebrate with you. All right. I love you all. It is Sunday, so go have fun, enjoy it, do something that makes your soul feel good, and just kick ass today. And remember, if somebody asks you, how are you doing? Tell them the real, how are you feeling? Okay? All right. Take care. Have a fabulous, fabulous day, and we can continue the conversation offline as well. All right. Bye. Peace. Now I got to figure out how to end it.